Hi, I'm Meiling Hou, a junior from the Bear Creek School in Redmond, Washington. I learned that the Senate Law and Justice Committee recently passed a bill that would enforce limitations on when law enforcement officers can wear face coverings while performing their duties. While this bill focuses on enhancing the accountability of the officers and public transparency, do you believe that there are cases where exceptions could be made in which an officer's safety might need to be maintained?
I ran 3 amendments onto that particular bill. Law enforcement came to us and said, we're wearing these particular masks. In some cases, we have fire retardant masks because we're afraid of Molotov cocktails or fireworks or whatever. In other cases, they had situations where in a riot situation, for example, where people were throwing glass or other things, spitting on them, etc., they had face shields and they would wear masks. So those were kind of exceptions. The bill already had an exception for SWAT teams, etc. But I want to remind people that the reason that they were wearing face masks to begin with was because they were personally threatened. So they and their families were being threatened with physical violence. That's why they want to maintain their anonymity. So we have to remember that, yes, we want accountability in our police force. Yes, we want to know, does it give them a license, for example, to use excessive force, etc. But by the same token, we also have to focus on law enforcement safety.
So that is exactly what we do when we do bill development. We take a look at the idea people have and really think through, when is this something we will need and when are there circumstances that this is not needed. And so if you take a look at the bill, it actually has a long list of exceptions. It has exceptions if you are on a tactical unit, because you have to make sure you are covering your face for your protection. We also allow people who have to work undercover to not have this requirement. We also have our cops that are on motorcycles and they have to wear helmets. So every good bill has to actually be implementable, which means you have to understand the practical implications of what we're asking for. In Washington, we have a law that says all our law enforcement officers have to be identifiable, which means they have to have a badge, they have to have a uniform, people have to be able to know who they are, that they are legitimate, and they are representing a law enforcement agency. And so when we have federal agents coming in who are not identifying themselves, that is a problem. And so this bill is developed really to make sure that people in Washington feel safe, secure, there's transparency, and there's accountability. And we know it can be done because our law enforcement has been doing it for a while in making sure they are identifiable when they go out into the community.